Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shareen. I'm an interior designer in New York City, and in this video we're going to talk about the guest room. The guest room in this property is part 3, and so if you missed the entryway, living and great room, then go back and watch part 2. And if you missed the primary bedroom and the bathroom, then you want to go back and watch part 1. This guest room was a completely blank slate that we walked into. Our client loves blues. If you've seen the other parts, you know that, and didn't really know what to do with it. And I sold her on doing a dark and moody space. So she allowed me to paint it nice and dark. We didn't do the doors and trims the dark color. We kept those light, but ironically it matched her away luggage that she had, which stores up on the top. So we went with a clair color in the space, and we were able to coat all of the walls. The ceiling is Claire Sees the Gray. I felt like it just really brought a special warmth into the room. She originally had a futon that was this like bright blue, kind of like, you know, a pull-out sofa that totally worked. It was something that you didn't really want to get rid of, but it wasn't necessarily something that you needed in your main space. So we were able to repurpose it in there just by doing some simple measurements. Since she's an avid reader, I wanted to put some lighting on there for her to be able to cozy up and read. She's got a new sconce that we put in, and we actually didn't hardwire this one. It's just a regular plug-in sconce, but we did do some custom corner shelves in here, similar to the ones that we did in the other Harlem project. If you missed that bathroom, you should go check that out. I'll actually link a video to that above. And you're able to put some books in there, or you can put some plants in there. It's a really beautiful corner, and because it gets sunlight, we also recommended that she places a plant on the bottom. So we have a ZZ plant down there on the bottom. It was originally one that was in her office that was starved for light, and now it's in the perfect space. The window treatments in that space are silk. They are always floor to ceiling, and I like the idea of using some curtain rings for those to give you just a little bit of texture and sound when you're moving them back and forth. The light fixture in there is a to the trade light fixture that I just thought added this really fun element to the space that ties in kind of these circular motions into a room that is basically all square. The other thing is the rug. It's a blue ombre rug, which we were able to repurpose. All of the art in there has been repurposed. She had that smaller piece in her studio. We moved it over here. The owl piece used to live up here before she had this new mirror. So now that lives in there, and we added some floating shelves for additional book storage. She is thrilled with the way that it turned out. She loves the walnut that's in there, which is a nice mix up from the lighter woods that are in the other spaces. And because the rug that we placed in there takes up about 90% of the room, you can't even see the light colored wood on the floor very much. So I think that it plays together really nicely. We also did a lot of silvers in there. The light fixture, for example, is like a polished nickel, which is something totally different than we've done in other spaces in her room. In other spaces in her place, it's been a mix of other metals, and this was kind of the first place that we introduced silver really hard. She does have like a brushed nickel hardware throughout her space. Oh, and I forgot to mention in the entryway visit that we did paint this door, which also adds something of interest into this corner of the hallway, but I like to bring in some gray because her hardware also has some of that in the different doorways. So that's how we were able to incorporate it. The closets have some custom utility racks, so they're easy storage and adjustable, and she usually keeps most of her like tools and spare parts and, you know, excess paint in there. Painting the ceiling is something that I like to do if I don't do something else to the ceiling, like coffered ceilings or beams or something like that. In this space, we just did Seize the Gray by Claire, which I said, it's a nice light color, but it still adds a little bit to that like moodier effect. Some other ways to do that would have been to paint the ceiling the same color of teal that you have around the walls, which I believe is called Deep Dive. Or you could have painted it a totally darker color. But keep in mind, if you paint your ceiling a darker color, it's gonna make the room seem shorter. So unless you have a tall enough room for that, you probably don't wanna go that route. The last thing of consequence in that space is the side table. That side table is adjustable, and I love that because that means that you can use it with the sofa that it's at, but you can also stand it up really tall if you decided that you wanted to stand in a corner and utilize it, just similar to a standing desk. It's adjustable for different chairs and heights, and it'll work in multiple spaces. That guest room was the first space to be finished in this project and kind of kicked off all of the rest of it that has been an absolute joy to work on. That's it for today. Thank you for listening to part 3. Again, my name is Shareen, and you could have been anywhere on YouTube, but you chose to be with me, and I appreciate that. I am thankful for you, and I will see you next time, Thursday after next. Have a great day. Bye. Ciao.